This is absolutely amazing, okay? And it's not like I got a big channel or my own channel or anything else. I'm just somebody just gonna put this out into the ether. And it's unbelievable. Uh, I don't know. It's some kind of connection, some kind of spiritual or I don't know what. This is just something that's unbelievable. Because it's like it's like a lawyer. It's like a case. It's like you're a detective. It's like you're researching something, and every time you find it, you're getting deeper and deeper into something that's just, and then you've lived a seemingly life that is leading up to this climax to a case being freaking solved. People got closure. I don't care how you put it, but okay, here I try to take some notes, try to catch you up to speed. Okay, so what I got? I says, old world. Wait, let me refresh this real quick. Okay, it says, old world building, the spiritual connection, the brass elevator. And then now we finding out that with the brass elevator, it was connected to some kind of ley line or some kind of a way that it moved, right? And then I got down there, jotted down there on the bottom. It says when they were doing the destruction, they probably just stole the brass pipes. You know, that's how dirty they are. You know, we'll get back to that, but I just put that there. So only thing I could do is tell you my story, since I'm not like, I don't have like a lot of people that probably watch this, or they probably say you're talking too much or whatever. But as you research what he was saying about the silver tsunami, right? I'm gonna just go over some things because silver tsunami. Let's just go on here and I'll punch on there and let's see what it says. Well, I'm a little bit ahead because this is why it's so amazing. You know how much I was talking about the old world when I was doing all of my drawings, and then I try to look into this sometime. I look, but let's go back a step. What does it say? Silver tsunami. The silver tsunami says the metaphor, whatever that is, for the significant demographic shift of baby boomers born between 1946 and 1964, retiring age, leading to a surge of older adults populations. And then it's like a bunch of stuff. It seemed kind of sad, but these people have all this money. I guess they saved up, like, you know, what Big Judah was talking about. Then it says nines. There's got a lot of money on there, and they got all this money. Okay, they saved this equity. So you start researching about this so-called tsunami. Okay, then let's go over here. Whoa, no, I don't know what it was, but it was back here. Maybe it was back here. Because I saw it. It said Detroit. Let me see if I can find it. There you go. Look. Detroit. I didn't punch on it. I said Detroit. So get you to thinking. We're trying to solve a case. So get you to thinking. We're trying to solve a puzzle. I said, wait a minute. Somehow I just went on there and I said, well, of course, look, I've been drawing it all this time. I said, old world, Detroit. And then look here on the bottom. Does that say Tartarian? What the hell? Oh, what the hell? Look at this here. This is what they said they found in Russia. Let me see, can I get it over there? It's some kind of design. They said that they was doing a road. It was a TikTok. Somebody was saying that they found these. They didn't say what type of metal. It could have been, must have been some type of metal that's easily gotten, but these things were flat little things that it's not a swastika, okay? I'm just trying to draw these little things that they had that it's online. And they said that it was, when they showed it, and then when he went up with the camera, it was nothing but these things up under just a regular ground. And it went everywhere. So the flying machines are not that far away. They're not that long ago. They're lying. Okay, and then I don't know what it is. Because, yeah, I like to scribble. I got so much scribble there. But we know when we're talking about them stealing land, remember that Mormon church? See, if they're stealing land, he found that crystal somewhere. You know, our brother Abdullah Steer went over how they have all these artifacts, and these universities have our bones of the ancestors. Okay? And we must remember, and I know for a fact, living in the city, that these old world buildings, they have basements, which we had a basement in our building, and those basements connect with tunnels just to the next building. You know, sometimes they'd have a wall there, but a lot of times the pipes that went under the city, those all went through all of the basements throughout the city. Yes, and huge rats would crawl through those holes. We used to have to stuff those holes with mesh, or your property would get, you know, filled with rats from other buildings. You know, that was a problem back in these days. So you can do your own research, but it's gonna be kind of cool. I don't know how long this other video is. I don't know if it has music because it says YouTube. But if you're doing this research, this is what I hit on. So this is kind of amazing. So you're gonna get into it because you see, when you're stealing land and you're taking these old world buildings, you're getting all of the artifacts, all of the stuff that's in there, all of the things, and then you're just clearing these huge properties that are on huge acres of land. These houses are gigantic. These other places, they're huge. This is the theft on an unbelievable scale of real estate theft. Because let's take my story. All right, this is the 70s. So this is New York. This is like where I grew up. So this is my mom and dad's. This is their restaurant, okay? On the corner. Now, later on, they built a subway. There's a subway right here on 96th Street. If you can go online, there's a subway that went there. But then there was just... They're sitting down somewhere in some big office, guys. They're sitting down there just like this. Let me see. Can I be the spot here? I hope you can see this. They're like this in an office. Let's say this is your whole city or whatever. This is a part of Manhattan. They're like saying, okay, this is this block here. We're going to do this. This is this next, you know, street or whatever. And then this next block. And then they're sitting there, okay, these buildings going to do this. These buildings, this, that. So pretty much these buildings that were here that I'm trying to show you, this whole block, these people didn't receive any rent. There were no people living there. These buildings were just like, the people were gone. I don't know what was happening. They were gone. When I was growing up, they was building the World Trade Center and all that kind of stuff. It was a point in the late 70s, all of these buildings were completely empty. Okay, this building, at one time, there was a little bodega there. They didn't last long, but there was something there. Here, Mr. Joe's Pizza was here. The building was open, but after a while, Mr. Joe's, they closed. And then even one of these buildings was a 1950s soda shop. And even they closed because they used to sell newspapers. They looked like they were there for years and years, and they closed, and the building just disappeared. And then here, this only place that stayed here, the building wasn't people, it was people, but sporadic, was this African little shop right here. They played pool, real dark, look like drug place open here, right? And then on the corner with these Indian store that look like they've been there for a long time. And they stayed open all the way until I think we moved from New York, because they said the taxes went up so much. These buildings that were here, they were burning them down because a few blocks away, like I said, excuse me, they were building high-rise buildings. Now remember, we're talking beachfront. We're talking multi-million dollars. Multi. And I never forget, as a kid, my parents wanted to buy the building, and then they didn't have enough or whatever. They lost. You know, that's probably what it was. Remember how Big Judah was saying how they would not give us loans? That's probably what happened. You know, and then they said it wasn't even a loan. I think they could get the money. It was the taxes, what they said. That's what a lot of people said. Oh, man, New York. He said the taxes in New York are crazy. I was like, that was the really reason when I think back as a kid. They didn't, you know, because their place was a hit. You know, there was a restaurant there. So that's really what it was. It did not get the Most High. No, it just didn't work out for them. So they got all their money and took off with it. And till this day, I never got a dime for all the work I put in for him. Because that's not what I followed. I didn't follow being someone that would just be in the church, drinking and doing everything, and then turn around and be, right back into sin, I guess. So how church people are. That. So, I go on your channel. I can't say anything because, like I said, I can't hit on that because I might have music on there. But I go through old world stuff, and this tsunami thing, I could see how they got their millions by stealing our land, especially like the black neighborhoods that are in Detroit. If you look on there now, they're in ruins for a reason. They said that if they couldn't have it, they didn't want you to have it either. That's how these people think. Well, all praise to the Most High. I know people aren't going to sit here and listen to me for 10 minutes, but that's my story. I don't have a big audience that's going to sit there and watch it, but there's nothing else to watch but nonsense on here. Nonsense. People don't talk about nothing. You're not getting your notification. They don't even tell you if someone's on or not. They don't want you to know anything. They want you to be deaf, dumb, and lazy and stupid and just watch stupid stuff and listen to Africans try to tell us something or someone that's they're gonna probably evacuate the island because everything's gonna turn against these people. All the nature, God, everything gonna turn against the sun. Everything gonna turn against them on that day. All praise to the Most High. I'm trying to do my research, but it's pretty interesting, especially when I'm drawing and talking about the the Tartar wars and stuff, and how they're fighting the war against good and evil. So that's what I was doing, and then I started doing that because the kids said they were going to come over for a little while. So I got to kind of straighten up, but I was still kind of working a little bit to see if we got something going on and stuff. All praise to the Most High. Just sitting here. Don't forget to your magic. Let's see. Just look what time it is. The sun been up for hours, y'all. It's at 6 o'clock in the morning. That sun is pouring through there. Don't forget to always use your magic, guys. That's if I can see it. There's a Hitler sitting there, and there it is. Look at this. Pouring through there. All praise to the Most High. Y'all stay safe.